think you have studying well about different electromechanical instruments like your PMMC meter. Then I discussed about moving iron type instruments in my last class. So another two electromechanical instruments like your analog instruments I am going to discuss in my today's session. Okay, the one of them is electrodynamometer-type instrument. Another one is electrostatic instrument. Okay, so as per the previous study, in case of PMMC instrument, all of you are able to know that in permanent magnet moving coil, so it is observed that PMMC instruments are only can measure directly the DC current and voltage. Okay, you can use also rectifier based condition that can measure DC voltage current definitely, but normally PMMC instruments can measure that your DC voltage and current. Okay, so electrodynamometer type instrument, in case of MI type instrument, what happened in MI, so you are only able to measure that AC as well as DC. Okay, both you can do measurement, but in electrodynamometer type instrument, again it is a transformer type instrument and it having capability to measure the electrical quantity in AC as well as the DC. So how it will work, that is our first concern. Okay, so if you see the diagram of that electromechanical device, okay, so here you can observe that it having one fixed coil, not one, two fixed coil and one movable coil. Okay, and the scales are also be there. In between two fixed coil, one moving coil is there. In PMMC instrument, what happened, you are normally use the permanent magnet as a surface area of your moving coil. Okay, in MI type instrument, what happened, you are using the fixed, definitely the coil. Okay, so outside there is a coil and inside there is the iron former or the yoke made by the soft iron. Okay, so as per the attraction, okay, this structure is normally known for that attraction based MI instrument. In case of repulsion based MI instrument, obviously the radial vane type, another one coaxial vane type. Okay, so where two cases, where two movable portion and the fixed portion both are electromagnet. Okay, but in case of electrodynamometer type instrument, you can see one fixed coil is there, two fixed coil is there, that also carry the current. Okay, so another one is your movable coil, that also carrying some current. Okay, so both of the cases, both of the coils are directly carrying the current. There is no permanent magnet. Okay, so it is much more feasible compared to your PMMC instrument. Okay, so what is the most important features of this electrodynamometer type instrument? The electrodynamometer is a transformer type instrument. A transformer type instrument is one that may be calibrated with a DC source and then used without modification to measure DC. This requires the transformer type instrument to have the same accuracy for both DC and AC. That's the basic concept. Okay. The electrodynamic or the dynamometer type instrument is a moving coil instrument, but the magnetic field in which the coil moves is provided by two fixed coils rather than the permanent magnet. That's the basic difference with your PMMC instrument and dynamometer type instrument. Okay, so first you can see the schematic diagram. Okay, it is your schematic diagram. Next one is your practical meter. So how it will be look like? Okay, so 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2 both are the fixed coil. Okay, so 1 and 2 is your fixed coil. From the diagram you can understand. And 3, this is your 3 is your moving coil. Okay, that is situated in between fixed coil to fixed coil. Okay. So similarly, like your previous instrument, okay, it having important torque, okay, like your controlling torque. Definitely one controlling torque, another one is called damping torque. Okay, so the controlling torque is provided by two control springs. Definitely this springs acts as a lead to the moving coil. Okay, so from this diagram you can see that controlling torque is provided by two controlling spring. So here you can see the base of this pointer is connected with the shaft, and shaft is situated inside of that spring. Okay, so what happens, current is coming, and you can see over there that current is coming and directly passing through this fixed coil. Then then it is coming to the fixed coil again. After that it is passing through the moving coil or the movable coil, and it is coming to the input side. Okay. So what happened, please mute your mic. All the students are suggested, please mute your mic. So here you can observe that controlling torque is provided by two control spring. It is coming. Then in damping, okay, so definitely the damping also important. The air friction damping is employed for this instrument and is provided by a pair of aluminum vanes. Okay, attached to the spindle of the bottom, these vanes moves in a sector shaped chamber. Okay, so like your previous instrument, some damping arrangement also be required. So individual instrument, individual type of damping normally we are considered. In this case, we are using then aluminum pair of aluminum vane attached with the spindle bottom. This is air damp. Normally, air friction is used for such type of instrument for damping purpose. After that, you can see that the basic torque equations of the electrodynamic type instrument. So where you can observe that I1 is your instantaneous value of current for the fixed coil. Okay, it's in A ampere. I2 is the instantaneous current of that moving coil. Okay, so first one is the fixed coil, second one is your moving coil. I1 and I2 all are in instantaneous current. This is your instantaneous current. Okay, so in AC, what happens? You are not directly getting that plus and minus. So normally we have considered it is instantaneous positive, it is instantaneous negative. So instantaneous polarity is observed in the AC side. Okay. So what is your L1? L1 is your self inductance of fixed coil. What is L2? L2 is your self inductance of your moving coil. All the units are in Henry. Okay, M is your mutual inductance. In between, it is your mutual inductance in between fixed and moving coil. Okay, so flux linkage of coil 1, definitely psi 1 will be what? L1 I1 plus M into I2. L1 I1 means I1 is the instantaneous current passing through the fixed coil. L1 is the self inductance of the fixed coil. So L1 I1. So all of you know about it. Psi by I equal to L. Okay. So definitely L1 I1 equals to psi 1. But in this case also some mutual inductance is there. Mutual inductance means the inductance due to current passing through your moving coil. That means I2. So mutual inductance M into I2 for your coil number 1. That means fixed coil. Flux linkage. So it is a flux linkage. So flux linkage for coil 2 is your psi 2. So psi 2 equal to what? L2 I2 plus M into I1. Okay. So it is a psi 2. Electrical input energy is coming what? You know about it. Energy. Energy is an integrating factor, having integrating factor. Electrical power for coil 1 integrated with time. So it is coming E1 I1 dt plus E2 I2 dt. What is the value of what is the, you can also write down the same thing in such a manner, means I1 into psi 1. Okay, I1 into psi 1 and plus I2 into psi 2. Okay, so you are getting directly the expression. So you know about it, that E1 equal to d psi 1 dt, E2 equal to d psi 2 dt. So total, after that placing all those value, what is the exact value? So the value of psi 1 is already given, L1 I1 plus Mi2, and psi 2 also be given, L2 I2 plus Mi2. Okay, so both the cases you just replace the value of psi 1 and psi 2, and finally you will get that expression. Okay, so you can observe that, you can observe from the expression. So what is the energy stored in the magnetic field? All of you know about it, half I square or half LIC. So for the coil one, so how it will coming? So total, so half I square L1 plus half I square L2, and the current passing through due to the energy loss, energy stored due to the mutual inductance. So it is coming I1 I2 into M. Okay. So finally the change of energy stored. So you can make the derivative the entire term. So it is coming I1 L1 dI1 plus half I1 square dL1 plus I2 L2 dI2 plus half I2 square dL2 plus I1 M dI2 plus I2 N dI1 plus I1 I2 dM. So you can compare both the cases. So electrical energy input, first one, it is electrical energy input. Okay, so what will be the upcoming expression? So from the principle of conservation of energy, so the total electrical input energy equals to change in the energy energy storage plus mechanical energy. The mechanical energy can be obtained by substituting. The mechanical energy will be coming. So by substituting means you can replace all of the value. So it is coming half I1 square dL1 plus half I2 square dL2 plus I1 I2 dM. So you can say like the self inductance L1 is the constant. Okay, so therefore dL1 and dL2 both will be 0. So finally the mechanical energy is coming I1 I2 into dm. Okay, so it is a final expression. So you can say like that, suppose Ti is the instantaneous deflecting torque and d theta is the change of deflection. So you can say like that, mechanical energy equals to work done equals to T I instantaneous torque into d theta, and finally it is coming Ti d theta equals to I1 I2 dm. Okay, so what is the value of Ti instantaneous torque? It is coming I1 I2 dm dt. Okay, dm means mutual inductance, and it is the d theta is what? Change of deflection. So what is your operating when that instrument is operated in DC? Then what happen? So I1 will be fixed. So normally you are using I1 in italic, lowercase and italic. That shows that instantaneous value. Now you are using for DC, the small I1 equals to capital I1, means you are considering its average value of I1, and I2 is the current of the moving coil. Both of the average value in case of DC. So deflecting torque will come in TD equal to I1 I2, TD equals to I1 I2 dm dθ. This shows that deflecting torque depends in general the product of current passing through I1 and I2 and the rate of change of mutual inductance. This deflecting torque deflects the moving coil to such a position where the controlling torque of the spring is equal to the deflecting torque. Okay, suppose theta is the final steady state deflection. So what is the value? Now we are using some spring. Okay, so TD definitely equals to TC for the final steady state position. Deflecting torque always equal to control torque. Therefore, the control torque TC equal to K theta. You are using spring constant. K is the spring constant, Newton meter per radian. Okay, so what will be the exact value of theta? It is coming I1 I2 by K dm d theta. So if two coils are connected in series, the measuring current of two currents I1, I2 are equal. In that case, what happen? I1 equal to I2 equal to I. So theta is coming I square by K dm d theta. For DC use, the deflection is that proportional to the square of current. Hence, the scale is non-uniform and crowded at the end. Okay, you can understand how the how theta proportional to I square. Okay, so if theta is proportional to I square, definitely the scale of this measuring instrument will be non-uniform in nature, and you know about the input terminal, it will be crowded, and initial terminal it is not so congested. Okay, so when it will be operated in AC, previous one it was operated in DC, now it is operated in AC. So I1 and I2 both will be the instantaneous value of current carried by the coil. Therefore, the instantaneous deflection torque is Ti equal to I1 I2 dm d theta. Okay. So if two coils are in series, connected in series, measuring current, so definitely I1 and I2 will be equal. And what will be the value? I1 I2 equal to I. So what is the value of Ti? Ti is coming I square dm d theta. In this case, I is in uppercase, means it is average value. Okay, in DC. And in your case, that I is in lowercase, but lowercase italic. So you can say like that, it is instantaneous value. Okay. Thus, the AC use, the instantaneous torque is proportional to the square of instantaneous current. As the unity I square is always positive, so the current varies in the instantaneous torque also varies. But the moving system, due to its inertia, cannot follow such rapid variations of the instantaneous torque and responds only the average torque. Okay, so what is the response? So speed of response, that I also been discussed. Okay, speed of response, last class I have missed it, so today I will cover. Okay, so in my previous slide it was there, so I will discuss about the speed of response. Okay, the average deflecting torque over a complete cycle is given by, because what happened, you know that it is in instantaneous value, but measuring instrument all those instantaneous values, so you have to convert them in the RMS value. Okay, so equivalent DC value. Okay, that is the most important features of this type of measuring instrument. Okay, so you have to convert in the RMS form. Okay, in case of DC there is no problem, you are directly getting that capital I, means average value. For in case of AC you are not directly getting that value, so you have to convert it. Okay, so so T is your instantaneous value. Now average deflecting torque over a complete cycle given by, where T is the time period over one complete cycle, and the TD equals to 1 by T, 0 to T, TL, AT. So you are getting that average deflecting torque. So final steady state position, TD and TC both should be same. So it is coming what? It is coming Tk theta equal to dm d theta 1 by T, 0 to T, I square dt. So for the deflection pointer is theta equal to 1 by K dm d theta 1 by T, 0 to T, I square dt. So it is your total expressions for instantaneous condition, but your average in a full complete cycle. So again you can observe that your theta is directly proportional to the I square. Okay, so it may be changed. Okay, it may be changed. So before that I am going to Next one. So here you can see different type of electrodynamometer applications. So first one you can say like that, electrodynamic ammeter. Second one, electrodynamic voltmeter. Third one, electrodynamic wattmeter. Okay, so in case of ammeter, definitely the fixed coil and the moving coil all should be in series. Okay, and one shunt field also be required for minimizing. Sometimes what happens, the huge current you are connected with your instrument with a highly loaded situation. So what happen, it having some possibilities to net current is beyond of your meter current, so that may cause for damage of your meter. So one shunt field is required. Okay, so one shunt field is required that provide you the bypassing of the current. Okay, so same thing in the electrodynamometer type voltmeter. So definitely it will be connected in the parallel. Okay, so one load is there connected the parallel with the system, and one additional resistance is also connected to the series of the fixed coil. So here the shunt field is there connected across the moving coil. So here you can see one series resistance is connected across to series resistance with the moving coil. Two fixed coil are also be there. Okay, so two fixed coil and the moving coil, all the condition they are in series. Okay, but here both having the bypass path one. Okay, and connected series with the load. But here you can see the load is connected parallel to the system. Okay, and additional resistance R is connected series with the moving coil. Okay, so you can understand the configuration. So this the configuration for electrodynamometer type wattmeter. Okay, so here you can see the pointers are there. All the times it will measure that. First case it is ammeter, second case is voltmeter. So again it's the power measurement. So one coil is responsible for current measurement, means fixed coil is responsible for current measurement, so it is called current coil, and the moving coil is responsible for voltage measurement. Okay, so if you multiply that voltage and current, so you will get that power. Okay, so that's why the moving coil is connected parallel to your series coil or the fixed coil. Okay, so both of the cases for voltmeter ammeter they are connected series, the fixed coil and moving coil. For ammeter, one shunt field is connected across of your moving coil, and for electrodynamometer type voltmeter, one series resistance is connected series with the moving coil. But in wattmeter configuration, moving coil and fixed coil both are connected parallel. So here you can see one terminal, another one. Okay, two terminals are there, they are connected in parallel. So current is passing through this current coil. Okay, so you can see that path. So then again dividing, one current is passing through your moving coil portion here, another current is passing through the load. After that will connected again in the neutral point, and finally it is feedback to your supply neutral. Okay, so you can see the wattmeter configurations by using electrodynamometer type instrument. So after that we need to know about the advantages and disadvantages of your electrodynamometer type instrument. So what is your advantage? What are your advantages? So it can be used on AC as well as DC instruments. So first we are bothered about the advantages. Then we will discuss about disadvantages. Okay, so first advantage is it will be used for as a AC and DC measurement. Then the instruments are free from eddy current and the hysteresis error. So simple, because of what? In hysteresis the core is required. Okay, the core, ferromagnetic core is required. That you can observe in previous configuration. Both of the cases, some cores are there. For moving iron, the core is there, as well as the PMMC, that means moving coil, the core also there. So if the core has present, that may cause for additional magnetic power loss. Okay, so that is known as hysteresis. Now here you can observe that there is no core. that is your fixed coil, and these two are your fixed coil and one moving coil. Okay, so all the coils are there, so there is no current, so your instrument is free from eddy current and hysteresis loss. Hysteresis error. So electrodynamic type instruments are very useful for accurate measurement of RMS values. Okay, so all the time you should be bothered, you should be remember that electrodynamic in ammeter, voltmeter, wattmeter, all the cases you are getting the RMS values of voltage and the current irrespective of waveform because of the precision grade. Okay, so precision grade accuracy and the same calibration for AC and DC measurement of this instrument are useful to transformer type and the calibration of instrument. So normally we are calibrated our instrument, means our electrodynamic instruments in DC. Okay, first. So then we are directly using such instrument for the AC measurement. Okay, so calibration is done only for DC measurement. Okay, and for the DC testing. Okay, and we are able to measure the AC quantity by the similar type of instrument. So because of what? Transformer type of instrument. Okay, directly we are conversing such amount because the DC resistance and AC resistance both are different. Okay, you can consider some of the multiplying factor you may be considered, so that will give you the AC resistance. That's why they are saying like the transformer type instrument. Okay, what are the most important disadvantages? As the instrument having square law response, you can understand, because theta is directly proportional to I square. Okay, so it's the square law response, so scale will be non-linear. Okay, or the non-uniform. Okay. This instrument have small torque per weight ratio. Okay, small torque per weight ratio, so that the frictional error is considerable. Okay, because if your torque is high, weight also be high because you are maintaining torque per weight ratio fixed. If torque is high, definitely the balance weight will be high. Okay, so that may cause for what? Unnecessary frictional loss. Okay. Point number 3, more costly than PMMC and MI type instrument. Definitely the more sophisticated instrument. Adequate scanning of the instrument against stay magnetic field is essential. Okay. The power consumption is comparatively high compared to your comparatively high because of their construction. Okay, so construction is quite jumble and quite huge, that's why some power consumption is high in your electrodynamic type instrument. And you can see over there adequate movement of the against the stay magnetic field always essential. So initially some of the magnetics is required. You know that magnetism is called the stay magnetic. Okay, because spontaneous magnetism is there in your coil. Sometimes what are repeating nature of that magnetics or magnetizing current, so there is some possibilities of stay magnetic problem in your instrument. Okay, so that is another most important disadvantage. After that we can understand the basic working principle construction of your electrodynamic instrument. Then we can go for some of the numerical problems. Okay, all of you please note down that numerical problem. Please note down the question. Okay, so what are the most important questions are there? So first one, you have to solve it in your hostel, in your home. Question number 1, question number 2, and finally question number 3. These all are the class book assignment. So when you will going to submit your classwork, so that numerical problem should be there, should be in your copy. Okay, so what is the problem? The inductance of a 5 ampere electrodynamic ammeter change uniformly with the rate of 0.0035 millihenry per radian. The spin constant is 10 to the power minus 6 Newton meter per radian. Determine the angular deflection of full scale. Okay, so it is given, change of inductance is given, that is dm d theta given per radian, it is given, the electron change of uniformly rate of millihenry per radian, it is given. Okay, so millihenry. So you have to convert it Henry. So 10 to the power minus 3 will be there. Okay, so sorry, it is microhenry, not millihenry. It is microhenry. That's why 10 to the power minus 6 is there. Okay, so now the deflection is there. Theta equal to I square. You know the formula, I square by k dm d theta. You know the value of dm d theta. I is there, I 25 ampere. Okay, the spring constant k also be given, that 10 newton meter per radian. So you can replace all the values. So 10 to the power minus 6 will be cancelled. So 25 square into 0.0035 into 180 by pi. So you are getting the degree. So it is coming 125 degree. Very simple problem. Okay, so now for the next problem, an electrodynamic instrument, the total resistance of the voltage coil circuit is 8200 ohm. The mutual inductance change uniformly from 173 microhenry at zero deflection to 175 microhenry with full deflection. The angle of the full scale is given 95 degree. If a potential division difference is 100 volt applied across the voltmeter circuit, the current of 3 ampere and the power factor 0.75 is passed through the current coil. What will be the deflection? The spring constant of the instrument given 4.16 to the power minus 6 Newton meter radian. So what is the change of mutual inductance? dm. It is given. The change of mutual inductance, it is given 173 microhenry to 175. So 175 minus of minus 1. So it is 348 microhenry, and deflection also be given 95 degree. Full scale being 95 degree. So 95 degree theta 95 degree. So it is 1.66 radian. So what is dm d theta? It is 348 whole divided by 1.66. It is coming 209.60 microhenry per radian. The current through the coil I1 is 3 ampere. It is given. The current through the voltage coil I2 is what? It is also given. Current through the voltage coil. If you have the voltage 100 volt and the voltage coil circuit resistance 8200 ohm. So it is coming 100 by 8200 ohm. So it is coming 0.0122 ampere. So power factor cos theta equal to 0.75. Okay. So you can say like that. What is the value of deflection? Okay, theta equals to I1 I2 by K. I1 is the current passing through your fixed coil. I2 is the current is passing through your moving coil, or the current coil and the voltage coil. Current coil is fixed coil. Moving coil means voltage coil, your movable coil. So I1 is 3 ampere. I2 is 0.0122 whole divided by K. K, the value of K is given 4.16 10 to the power minus 6. Cos theta is 0.75. Okay, so previous case the formula is there for the unity power factor. So some of the lagging power factor is there, so you are multiplied only the cos theta. Okay, so cos theta is 0.75 and dm d theta. The value of dm theta is 209.63 microhenry. So 209.60 into 10 to the power minus 6. So the value of theta is coming 1.242 radian. So it is 71.2 degree. Okay, so I think all of you are able to understand these two numerical problems. So in your home you should complete the next numerical. You all of you please note down the formula. Note down the statement of this problem. A 50 volt range spring control electrodynamic voltmeter. Initial inductance is given 0.25. The full scale deflection torque 0.4 into 10 to the minus 1 Newton meter, and the full scale deflection current is 50 milliampere. Determine the difference between DC and 50 Hz AC reading at 50 volts if the voltmeter inductance increase uniformly over the full scale of 90 degree. Simple problem, you can solve it in your home. After that we are started. I am just starting with the next topic. It's your electrostatic instrument. So first I have covered PMMC instrument, then MI type instrument, then electrodynamic instrument. After finally I am going to discuss about electrostatic instrument. So another two instruments also be there. One is induction type instrument and your that thermocouple type instrument. So thermocouple type instrument will be discussed in your sensor and transducer chapter. So I am not going to repeat the same thing. And your induction type instrument will be discussed in the energy meter type chapter. Okay. So because all the cases that constructions are normally same and the other features will need to be discussed. Okay. So I will cover these two important point in different two modules. Okay. And the rectifier based instrument that I have already discussed with the PMMC instrument. Okay. So these all are the very important examples for the analog instrumentation. So full and final point is the electrostatic instrument. So where we can observe that in electrostatic instrument, definitely in your previous instrument, so one movable terminal will be there, one fixed terminal. So movable portion means in electrostatic instrument, definitely the two plate is required. One is your fixed plate, it is your A, and one movable plate, it's your B plate. Okay. So movable plate is attached with a spring. Okay. So it is a linear motion electrostatic instrument. Another one is called rotating motion electrostatic instrument. Linear motion means it's linearly moving. Okay, there is no such presence of any theta. Okay, but in rotating motions electrostatic instrument means the theta is there. Okay, so one fixed plate will be there, and you can see one fixed plate is there, and one movable plate also be present, that is sliding over the fixed plate. Okay, and that movable plate also being terminal, one terminal is connected with a spring and rest of the terminal is connected to the surface of the instrument. Okay, so what is the most important features in electrostatic instrument? The deflecting torque is produced by action of the electric field on change of conductors. Such instruments are essentially voltmeter, but they may be used with the help of external component to measure the current. So inherently it is not possible to measure the current, but with the help of some external methods we can use that current measurement and the power measurement process. The greatest use that laboratory in the high voltage applications. Okay, so there are two ways in which that force are acting over your instrument. So first one type involve or two oppositely charged electrode. So both of the cases, two oppositely charged electrodes means they are repulsing each other. Both of the charge, here you can see both of the charges same, so they are attracting. So force is coming from negative to positive side. Okay, so first case both are opposing each other, so of them fixed and other are movable. Due to force of attraction, the movable electrodes involved towards the fixed one. So what happened? So they are attract each other, they are coming from A plate to B plate or B plate to A plate, because B plate is movable, so A is fixed, so B always coming towards the A plate. In the other type, there are force of attraction or the repulsion between the electrodes, which cause the rotating motions. Okay, rotary motions of the moving electrodes. So here you can see that moving electrodes are moving in the not vertically, it's horizontal movement. Okay, so in case of rotating, so it's a vertical movement. Okay, and with the angle of theta, deflection angle of theta. So definitely force and torque equations also important in your moving in your electrostatic instrument. So you can see two types condition. One is linear motions, another one is your rotating motions. Okay, so linear motions and rotating motions. So in referring on the figure, that means the first figure, referring the figure, that plate A is fixed and plate B is movable. The plates are oppositely charged and they are restrained by a spring connected to the fixed point. Okay. Let a potential difference V volt is applied to the plates, then the force of attraction in F Newton exists between them. The plate B moves towards the A until the force is balanced with the spring. So as per the charge strength, okay, so if it lot of charge are there in A plate, so B always try to come nearer to the A plate as fast as possible. Okay, so what happened? So if that force is greater than of your spring, okay, definitely it is possible to move that movable plate. Okay, if that force is less than, so it's not possible. So minimum requirement, that force is equilibrium with your spring constant, with your spring. Then the more for then the attraction, so it will be changing due to the attraction force in between plate A and plate B. Now you can see the stored energy is half CV square. You all of you know about that one. Okay, so C farad is there. So half CV. So let the small increment of V, okay, is applied to the voltage, and V moves small distance dx towards A. When the voltage is being increased capacitance current flow, the current is given by I equal to, all of you know, the dq dt equals to d dt of CV. So you know about that value. So it is coming C dv dt plus VC V dc dt. So input energy, you can cross multiply that dt. So Vi and multiplied with V. So it is coming Vi dt is Vc dv, and it is V square C V square, it is V square dc, and it is coming Cv dv. Okay, the change of the stored energy is half C plus dc whole multiplied by V plus dv square minus half Cv square. Change of stored energy. Okay, so change in stored energy. So finally it is coming half V square dc plus Cv dv. Okay, so neglecting the higher order terms, the small quantities are only considered. So finally it is coming input electrical energy equals to increase of the stored energy plus mechanical work done. So it is coming V square dc plus Cv dv equals to half V square dc plus Cv dv plus F dx. So finally the F equals to half V square dc dx. So again your force, okay, so again your force is proportional to V square. Initially in electrodynamometer-type meter, your total torque or force is proportional to I square. Now static instrument is proportional to V square. Okay, so in rotational motion, the same thing also been observed. The foregoing treatment can be applied to the rotational motion by writing the angular displacement theta. Okay, so in deflecting, so what will be deflecting torque? Td equal to half Vc dc, half V square dc d theta. Okay, so if the instrument spring control and suspension, then Tc equal to k theta. So k equal to spring constant, theta is equal deflection. So k theta equal to half V square k dc. K theta equal to half V square dc d theta. So theta equal to half V square by k dc d theta. Since the deflection is proportional to the square of the voltage to measurement, the instrument can be used for both DC and AC. The instrument exhibits the square law response, hence the scale is non-uniform or non-linear. Okay, so here theta is deflection, k is your spring constant, and Tc equals to k theta. Okay, so I think you are able to understand the expressions of that moving expressions of your electrostatic instrument. So what are the most important advantages of electrostatic instrument? So this instrument draws the negligible amount of power. Okay, so what are the advantages and disadvantages? Okay, this instrument negligible amount of power because it is not carrying so much current. Okay, so I square loss will be less. It may be used for both DC and AC measurement. They have no frequency and uniform and waveform error, as the deflection is proportional to the square of the voltage and there is no hysteresis. Again, there is no hysteresis loss because we are not using magnetic ferromagnetic material as a core. Okay, so no errors caused for the stay magnetic field. Same thing, because there is no directly magnetics we have used over here. So no stay magnetic fields. And electrostatic principle, it is working on the particularly suited the high voltage. Okay. What are the most important disadvantages? The use of electrostatic instrument are limited to certain special application. Okay, particularly AC circuit of relatively high voltage application, where the current draw by the instrument would be result in erroneous indication. So very high voltage application, it is important because there is if the current range is high, so what happens, there is much more chance for unnecessary error. Okay, so you have to prevent the much more current flowing through your device. So the main limitations, this type of instrument only applied for high voltage application. The protective resistor is generally used in series of the instrument in order to limit the current in case of short circuit between the plate. Okay, so one situations may be there when plate A and B are nearer to, they are so nearer that almost they are touching. Okay, so if they are touching both of the plates, so there is a short circuit current in between A plate and B plate. Okay, and you can observe that in between the plate, so it may be air core or any other dielectric medium, so insulator will be there. So if they are so close, then what happened, some of the current, leakage current is flowing in between two plate, so that may cause for short circuit some of the conditions. So one additional resistance you need to incorporate or install with your plates, okay, for reducing the short circuit current. These instruments are expensive, large in size and not robust in construction. Definitely, why expensive? Because variable capacitor are there. Capacitor more or less is very costly electrical equipments, electrical not equipments, variables. Okay, so definitely it is costly and the scale is not uniform, so for manufacturing it is quite difficult compared to the PMM's instrument, and the operating force is very small. Okay, so because the changing of that capacitance, okay, so it is very small, so very sophisticated instrument it is. So and robust, it's not so robust, so any of the disturbance, any of the thing, the capacitance may be changed, the dielectric medium values may be changed, so that may cause for unnecessary error. Okay, these all are the disadvantages of this electrostatic instruments. Okay, so I think I have completed these analog meters. So in my last class I just forgot to discuss one thing, that different response speed. Okay, so here you can see the response speed are normally we have considered three types. Okay, so it is your time, another one is your deflections, theta. Okay, so if it is very fast, you can see in oscillatory in nature, so it is under damped condition, and you can see it is a steady state. So in overdamp the response is very slow, but normally we are accepting for the critically damped. So normally damping circuit, if you see the damping, okay, so all the cases the damping circuits are there, that is normally used for reduce that oscillation. That oscillation you can observe, this oscillation is only for what? This oscillation is only for the movement or the vibrations of your pointer. So three type of response are there, one is under damped, one is over damped, and finally critically damped. So critical damping response is much more acceptable compared to the other two things. Okay, that means under damped and over damped. Okay, so if you have any queries, you can ask me, or you can write your queries to the chat box, so I can discuss that. I can discuss your queries. Okay. If you have any query, you please
Sir,
write it down. Tell me.
sir, what is the answer to previous yesterday's question?
What is the answer of yesterday's question?
Y- Yes, sir.
Okay, so I didn't solve this problem. Okay, so I'll give you in my next class.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, so I will
Okay,
give
sir.
you the answer of my next class. Okay, what is the value of n and theta? I think so. That question was there. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So
L
if you
L
have
and
any
I.
other queries, so you can put to the chat box, so I can able to answer your problem. Okay, I hope you don't have any query. Okay, so